Lair of the Shadow Broker DLC. It's kind of like going to that annoying family reunion that doesn't mean anything, with that sheer glimmer of hope that that hot librarian neighbor you met last year is going to be there, and then you find that person and hang out with them for a short while you have to go back to the big old boring, meaningless party, and you really, really wish that the librarian was the party, and you went off and did your own thing with them. That's what it's like. For the most part, it's good. Some DLC gets it more than half right, and others are just there to make you look like a clown. This one's got action, romance, gags, bunch of random dead guys, music that came out of Metal Gear Solid, and yes, a plot. An actual believable working plot. Now, I'm not saying it's a great plot. Mass Effect 2 couldn't even figure out which one to give us, so it gave us a whole bunch of independent ones, so anything coherent is a step up. Just not by much. Apparently it's also a bridging DLC to the next game. I found it did more harm to the Mass Effect experience than good, mostly because Mass Effect 2's plot was painful to experience. In fact, if this is how Mass Effect 2 started, let's say right after Shepard gets out of their coma, I think I'd have a more believable and less painful time with the main game. Liara takes the place of Tim, we figure out how to get to the relay, and we learn about our bad guys. Things would have gone a lot better. Well, less gay. Well, maybe awesome and gay. To the plot! Liara wants to save Thane from the Shadow Broker out of gratefulness. First, a little backstory. Originally, our old friend Liara wanted to kill the Shadow Broker because they supposedly killed Thane, a friend of Liara's who saved her life. This was happening while Liara was trying to get Shepard's body back from the Shadow Broker agents. She did this because Cerberus wanted Shepard's body so that they could bring them back from the dead. And because
I couldn't let you go.
Now that's fine, but why couldn't she let Shepard go? Did she love Shepard? Not necessarily. Did she respect them because they saved her life and then the galaxy? What's her driving force for not accepting Shepard's death? I can come up with a few reasons, and they're certainly there, but we don't exactly know what they are, and what's pushed her to become this way. This is very important because Liara could have been any random person because she's a totally different character. We don't understand how or why the timid Prothean researcher became a revenge-seeking information broker. All she wants to do is kill the Shadow Broker, and has been hunting them down for 2 years. Now this DLC comes along, and the Liara Observer side mission gets literally substituted as soon as we finish her first terminal quest. It turns out Thane is still alive, and she no longer seeks revenge. She just wants to get him back. Okay, we know she's got a thing for Thane because he saved her life, despite him being a double-crosser, which is a pretty big blow to her 2-year-long plan of revenge. But she just changes her priorities and goes off to get more data on where to find the guy. We want to help, so we end up at her apartment, where it's become a crime scene. And despite being 175 years in the future, on an alien planet filled with 1,000-year-old blue women, kitchen technology hasn't changed. We meet another Spectre, and we discover through Shepard's ID that the data we gave Liara wasn't specific, and she needed more data to get a more accurate location of the Shadow Broker. So we go to her contact's location, Barrier Frontier's offices, to find her, but that explodes. So we go check that out, and kill a bunch of people. We eventually meet up again with the Spectre, who went in from the top, and we find Liara. Turns out the Spectre was working for the Shadow Broker, and she was behind Liara's apartment getting shot up, as well as Barrier Frontiers going boom. And we kill a bunch more people. We then get into a flying car chase, banter like an old married couple, where we're introduced to proximity bombs, which ends up in a crash course in Asari slang physiology. And we kill a bunch more people. The Spectre gets her second wind, a pint of blood, and then we kill her. But not before she makes some pointy jabs at our Cerberus railroading. Mr. and Mrs. Assault Rifle are all ready to unleash a massive defensive counter-argument to reply with, but Shepard's greatest skill tends to poke holes in people's bodies, not their arguments. We get our goal reiterated.
Get in, get Farron, get out.
And we notice the lack of revenge in it. We then travel to the location of the Shadow Broker's ship, hop on a shuttle, and then get dropped off at the front of the ship, even though we have scans and a schematic of the ship on how to enter the thing. Even the loading screen shows us. We somehow know the shuttle bay doors are locked, wherever those are, but we can't even determine that there's a door at the back of the ship. Okay, so we end up going through this long waltz and finally get to the door. This does absolutely nothing for Liara's arc. Oh, and we kill a bunch more people. We then get another long tete-a-tete as wave of dead people come by, and open sesame. Wait, where the heck are they all coming from? We kill a bunch more people, and then we finally get to Thane. Now, Thane is hooked up to an intranet death trap of electronic shock therapy, or something, so we end up having to confront the Shadow Broker anyway, so we can turn it off. Okay? So our goal is to free the guy, and that involves attacking a giant Dragon Age origin creature. Now, if you were the most feared information broker in the galaxy, wouldn't you have an escape plan? Instead, Mr. Ogre hates furniture, so he throws a desk at our third squad mate, knocking them out, even Grunt. But that's okay, he can get a better one at Space IKEA. So now it's just Liara and Shepard. Now I was hoping for some more tete-a-tete, but maybe Liara is all focused with her revenge plot coming back and doesn't have time for more jokes or more Shadow Broker rage. Turns out Mr. Armored Ogre Alpha erects a second shield which makes bullets ineffective. So nice slow haymakers knock him out of it. We do this 3 times till Liara figures out she has to dump milky white matrix of light fixture networking solution on him, and he goes the way of the Archdemon. I was really hoping for that.
And when I find the Shadow Broker, I hit him with a biotic field so strong that what's left of his body will fit into a coffee cup.
But no one can survive the information network white electricity lamp. Somehow this causes the power to flicker, which allows Thane ample enough time to do his invisibility speed demon thing. And Liara finally breaks down, having gotten Farron and Shepard releasing herself from past trauma and choosing to use the Shadow Broker's information network to help stop the Reapers. Whereas the main game you might have chosen to save the base for some possible advantage, now we have the largest information network in the galaxy to easily forge alliances with. This is very good development to the overarching plot of stopping the Reapers, whereas in Mass Effect 2 you just got to blow up a base or sell a robot. Very odd, these writing peoples. After dousing our ogre battle in white stuff, you can further romance Liara. We know she's still got a thing for Shepard, as she's been holding onto their dog tags all this time, right where she works. That tells us she's pretty dedicated to them. We just don't know in what capacity, and she probably doesn't either, considering her 2 years of crazy time. But if she was romanced previously, she will maintain she's taken. And once again, we lose another opportunity for Shepard to grow as a character. Any number of conflicts can be mentioned and said to be fulfilled all within this small, sensitive social space of interpersonal communication. One thing I was hoping for was the realization and comment by Shepard to Liara that, all because of you, I'm here. The same can be said for Miranda. Very important, very personal, but hey, that's just my opinion. Instead, Shepard finally gets asked, "How you doing?" And the player gets to choose to be frustrated, hopeful, or worried. This may not seem like much, but this is pretty amazing as far as Shepard's character goes. Depending on how Liara liked you in the first game, and whether or not you're seeing someone else, this scene plays out a few ways. There's even a cute comment about children and living happily ever after. Not the best topic to have on a date, but she asked, and it was more of a joke. This gets her all wet, and she gives you a pop test in sorry slang physiology. Poking fun at the Mako.
You okay?
Still better than the Mako.
Poking fun at Omnigel.
Remember the old days when you could just slap Omnigel on everything?
That security upgrade made a lot of people unhappy.
Poking fun at Liara's bizarre behavior.
You worried there might be terminals you need me to hack?
That's not fair.
Now, if a DLC can be self-referential comically to the main game it comes from, then will the next DLC do that? They might make fun of planet scanning, the hammerhead, Normandy fuel, thermal clips, inability to crouch, lack of equipment mods, all of which were horribly bad ideas. How the heck is a flying car on rails better than the Mako? No offense to Harry Gregson Williams, but anything that brings us back to the sound and feel of Blade Runner is a little close to what we come to expect from the Mass Effect experience. Just don't go poking fun at things that are missed, while Mass Effect 2's long line of problems are lampshaded by its superior DLC. Actually, I'd say most of Liara's dialogue is lampshading.